The wedding hall was filled with laughter, music, and the scent of fresh roses, until a young boy burst through the doors, his face pale with fear. Gasps echoed as he pointed at the bride, his voice shaking. "She's lying, Dad. She's not who you think she is." The room fell silent. The groom's hands trembled. Guests exchanged nervous glances. And then, in a moment that no one saw coming, his revelation turned the entire ceremony into chaos. What was she hiding? And why would it send guests into a panic? For years, 12-year-old Daniel had dreamed of a happy family. After his mother passed away, it was just him and his dad, Mark, a man who had done everything to give his son a good life. When Mark met Vanessa, a charming and sophisticated woman, Daniel hoped she would bring happiness back into their home. At first, everything seemed perfect. Vanessa showered Mark affectionately, played the role of a loving stepmother, and won over family and friends. But something always felt off. There were whispers Daniel overheard, stolen glances between Vanessa and sure guests, and moments when her warm smile didn't quite reach her eyes. As the wedding day arrived, Daniel's unease turned into something worse, suspicion. And then, just hours before the ceremony, he discovered something that made his blood run cold. Daniel paced back and forth in his tiny bedroom, his hands shaking as he clutched his phone. He had spent the last hour digging through old articles, scanning forums, and connecting the dots, each discovery making his stomach twist tighter. Vanessa wasn't just hiding something. She was hiding who she was. Her past was buried deep, but not deep enough. Years ago, she had been at the center of a scandal that rocked an entire community. A well-known socialite, she had been caught on camera spewing vile, racist remarks at a black waitress. But it didn't stop there. Reports surfaced of her being involved in funding a controversial organization, one that actively worked against racial equality. She had lost her job, her reputation destroyed, and then she vanished from the public eye. Until now, Daniel's chest tightened as he scrolled through images. She was younger but unmistakable. The same piercing blue eyes, the same delicate smile. He thought back to the uneasy feeling in his gut, the way she had subtly dismissed his father's black co-workers, the cold way she looked at their neighbors. It all made sense now. She wasn't just pretending to love his father. She was hiding from the past. A knock on the door made him jump. "Daniel, time to get ready." Vanessa's voice was sweet, but now it sent a chill down his spine. He had to do something. He couldn't let his father walk into a life built on lies. But how could he expose her without proof? Would anyone even believe him? His father was so blinded by love that he ignored every red flag. The guests were already arriving, and the music was playing downstairs. Time was running out, and then he made his decision. He would stop the wedding one way or another. The wedding hall was packed. Guests smiled, cameras flashed, and soft music played as Mark stood at the altar, waiting for his bride. Vanessa glided down the aisle in a white gown, her expression serene, utterly unaware that Daniel was about to turn her perfect day into a nightmare. Just as the officiant cleared his throat to begin, Daniel shot up from his seat, his voice shaking but firm. "Stop! Dad, you can't marry her." Gasps rippled through the room. Mark's brows furrowed. "Daniel, what are you doing?" Daniel's heart pounded. He turned to the guests, then back to his father. "She's lying to you, to all of you. She's not who she says she is." "Sweetheart, what are you talking about?" She reached for him, but Daniel recoiled. "I know what you did," he said, his voice rising. "The racist rants, the organizations you funded, the lives you ruined and then ran away from." The air grew thick with tension. Guests murmured, pulling out their phones. Mark's face paled. "Vanessa, is this true?" Her lips parted, but before she could answer, a man in the crowd, one of Mark's closest friends, a black business owner, stood abruptly. His eyes darkened with recognition. "Wait, I know you." He grabbed his phone, scrolling frantically before turning the screen toward the crowd. A news article, a face, a scandal. The whispers turned to shouts. People stood, pointing, shaking their heads. Someone yelled, "You were the woman from that video." Another gasped, "How did we not see this?" Vanessa's breath came fast. "Mark, please." But Mark took a step back. His hands trembled as he looked at the woman he was about to marry, who had hidden everything. Then chaos erupted. Guests demanded answers and someone called security. Amid it all, Daniel stood tall, watching the web of lies unravel. Vanessa didn't get the chance to explain. The weight of the truth crushed any excuse she might have given. Security escorted her out as guests watched in stunned silence. The fairy tale wedding shattered instantly. Mark stood frozen at the altar, his hands shaking. He looked at Daniel, not with anger, but with something more profound: understanding, gratitude. His son had just saved him from a lifetime of lies. But more than that, he had forced everyone in that room to confront an uncomfortable truth. Racism doesn't always wear a mask of hate. Sometimes, it hides behind charm, wealth, and a carefully curated image. Vanessa's past resurfaced in the days that followed, flooding the internet. News outlets picked up the story. People who had been victims of her actions came forward, their voices finally heard after years of silence. Heartbroken but wiser, Mark issued a public statement condemning her actions and donating to organizations that fought against discrimination. As for Daniel, he learned something that day. Speaking up isn't easy. It's terrifying. It makes you the villain in some people's eyes. But silence is worse. Silence allows injustice to survive. This wasn't just about one woman's deception. It was about how easily the world forgets, how quickly society forgives those who never seek redemption. But the real question is, how many more Vanessas are hiding in plain sight? And how many people will be able to expose them before it's too late?